I'm going to start recording the rest of this. So just to recap, we have went through step 1 in today's lesson, listing ideas, where we're just laying out as many big ideas as we can. We're not making thematic statements. We're not even talking about them like they're themes. We're just saying them as subjects. So love, revenge, power, greed, etc. I just want to hear a few ideas from people right now before we move on here. Kaya, what's one idea you brought up?
I brought up manipulation.
Okay. Manipulation. Who's doing the manipulation? Can you hear me?
Sorry, repeat that.
Oh, who is doing the manipulation?
Oh, the world state leaders.
Okay. Anybody else write down manipulation or something like it? It doesn't have to be the exact same word. Okay, Eve did, had a few hands raised there. Watson raised his hand. Eve, what word did you put that's like it if it's not exactly the same thing?
I put technology manipulation.
Okay.
So just like a different type of manipulation in the story.
Yeah, no, that's very similar. Watson, what did you put?
I put manipulation, and then I also put control, but
okay.
But
So we got a lot of people are kind of honing in on that same idea here. Claudia, what's one of the big ideas you put that you think is important?
I mean, I guess besides like manipulation and control, I put individuality.
Okay.
Advertising.
So that seems a little bit ironic because there's so little individuality in the state. So why'd you put individuality?
I guess I feel like the world state kind of manipulates it in a way. So it's kind of more of the loss of individuality.
Okay. So notice, all right, so you're already doing you're already, by trying to explain that relationship, you're doing what I'm going to ask all of you to do later, is put your ideas, so take like 3 ideas and put them into a sentence. So by manipulating people, they have a loss of identity or something like that, right? Okay. So keep that in mind as we go forward, because that's what I'm going to be asking you to do in a little while here. So our second step here is creating the triads. All right, so we're going to take that list that we have, and I want you to group the ideas into triads. Couple things before we do this. Remember that there are not correct and incorrect triads. Okay, there are not right groups and wrong groups. If you think the ideas go together, put them together. Okay. Nor is there a correct thematic statement that I'm looking for. I want us to get away from that idea that I talked about the other day, that there's some specific answer that I'm looking for. Literature, we don't look at literature to get a specific answer. We look at literature to not only engage with it, but to draw things out that we understand and connect them to our lives. That might be different. Your interpretation of a book or your response to a book might be very different than another person's. That doesn't mean the other person's is wrong. Okay. Now your explanation and your your explanation might be better. Your connection might be stronger, but that doesn't negate what the other person experiences or feels at the same time. This is where people get all like uncomfortable with it, because there's no like single answer. There's rarely a single answer. You can try to absolve yourself in mathematics where there seems to be a single answer, but it's rarely that. If you're struggling with this, I mean, seriously, just put the ideas in random triads and try to explain how they fit together. It works. Okay. If you have, so like, let's say you have 8 examples. Let's say you listed 8 words. This is the last thing I'll say here. It's okay to reuse words if you only have 8 words. Okay. Because obviously that's not 3 groups of 3. That'd be 2 groups of 3 and a group of 2. If you want to leave it as a group of 2, I guess that's okay. I think it would be better if you had everything in groups of 3. So because of that, it's okay to reuse words. Okay? Are we clear on that? Don't be too strict on yourself here. This is a thought generating exercise. Okay? It's not like you get punished for reusing words or breaking the rules a little bit. All right. Let's see, it's 7:47. Let's take about 3 minutes. Let's come back at 7:50. Come back with some groups. Group these words together, okay? So see you at 7:50. All right, let's come back. I know we're moving kind of fast, but that's okay. All right, Maddie Wilm, what words did you group together?
I kind of did manipulation, like as an emotional manipulation, like with Soma and the drugs.
Okay.
And then I did social freedom
Okay.
and individuality.
Individuality.
I didn't know really how to pair them together, but I just kind of threw them in there.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's kind of the point is to put words together, and we'll see what that does here in a minute, because putting words together allows us to make a really strong statement about the book. Sienna, what did you put together?
I had manipulation, stability, and love, and then manipulation, desires, and pleasure, and manipulation, emotions, and individuality.
Okay, so a lot of manipulation going on here. All right. All right, I think we kind of got the gist of this, right? I mean, you can put pretty much any 3 you got. It would be best if you thought about it and say, no, these 3 I think have the strongest connection. So if you're making a triangle, like these 3 would be the strongest triangle here. All right. So again, here's just an example of it. Probably should have shown this before. But I'm using the word Animal Farm. We could have used this, I suppose, as a dystopian fiction. It's more of a, I mean, it is fiction, but it's more of a parable here. But in Animal Farm, big ideas are power, greed, freedom, hypocrisy, corruption, law, camaraderie. If you group greed, freedom, and corruption together, you have your triad, okay? And there's the point I was making about the leftover ideas. You can add hypocrisy and corruption and power. It doesn't really matter, okay? Now what we're going to do is turn that triad into a sentence. So I want you to take the one that you think is strongest. So when you look at the words, which ones have the strongest connection? This is going to be a little bit of a struggle at first, okay? Because again, you're taking 3 words and you're trying to make a sentence out of them. And it's fine if you struggle, okay? The struggling part is the part where we're figuring out how these things are connected. So we're doing analysis. I mean, in writing the sentence, you are performing analysis. You are writing a thematic statement, which could basically be the thesis of a longer essay. All right? The ideas you get here should generate a lot of thought afterwards, or at least they should be able to. I'll go back a second. So if we look at greed, freedom, and corruption, I'm going to take those and turn them into a sentence. And it's essentially a cause and effect sentence. When one's greed overtakes one's desire for freedom, it can lead to corruption. So if I'm writing about Animal Farm, there's my topic. That's it. I already have my topic. I can go, that's my paper. That's my summative. That's what I'm going to write about. I'm going to go and take the examples that made me think like this, that made me think that this was true. I'm going to show my teacher the examples. I'm going to talk about how this happens in the book, how greed overtakes freedom, and how it leads to corruption. So I'm going to give examples of greed, basically killing freedom, and then I'm going to show how it corrupts their society. Okay? That'd be it. That's my whole essay. Oops, too far. So as you might have caught, our next step is the exit slip. So let's see, it's 7:54. Let's take 10 minutes, So let's come back at, or at 7:55. Let's come back at 8:05. Let's see where we're at. It might not be enough time. It might be enough time. I'm not really sure. I haven't done this before with students. So let's move back at 8:50 or 8:05. Here's some sentences. Then we'll share it with a partner. Okay. If you have a question, if you have a question, I'll be online. So just come and ask. Okay. All right, it is 8:05, so I want to see how we're doing here. Was that enough time to get a sentence down? Raise your hand, hit the hand, raise hand function if it was. Keep it up, please, so I can keep a running tab here. So, oops, seeing that's everyone here. Am I right? My view is all messed up. Google did something and it changed the way, like the number of people I can have that I can see. It's annoying. Okay, so yeah, because like I'm looking at the square, I'm looking at you in squares right now, a 4x3 row. And some of you that raise your hand, it's not even showing that you raised your hand, which is just weird. Whatever. All right. So actually, I don't need you to share these with me right now. What I want you to do though is, let's go on to the next step. So I'm going to put you in a breakout area, breakout room, and I want you to share it with the partner. Okay, so we'll do this quick. This won't, someone have a question? Sophie, do you have a question?
No, sorry. I was just trying to turn the raise hand function off.
Oh, you hit it a bunch of times. Okay.
Yeah, sorry about
that. Oh, no worries. Let's just check in here. Let's see. Let's get everybody in a group. Some groups will have 3, so that's fine. I'm going to put a timer for not 31 minutes. Let's say 2 minutes. Now let's say 3 just to make sure. When I open the rooms, go in, talk with your partners. When you're done, you are done. If you have questions for me, I'll be on the line still. You can come and talk with me, but other than that, I hope we're nearing the end of the book or that we have finished the book, but make sure that we're done with the book by Monday, okay? Done with the book and the responses by Monday. Because we're going to start building our summit, and hopefully this worked to help today. Do we find it helpful being able to organize our thoughts like this? It's hard to read the class. I have subtle nods. All right. Well, we'll see on Monday if it helped. I think it helps. It helps me whenever I use it. So I will see you on Monday, or unless you got a question or you want to talk with me tomorrow. Okay.